Hello and welcome to the Gula Jewish Film Festival, first session.
Hello.
Oh yeah,
Hello.
Zoel, Patrice, and Shmuel, the leader of our conversation. Let's do it, friend.
Hi, everybody. So today we are honored with two very special guests from France, both of them, who made really extraordinary films. I have to say, I watched both of the films and they are, wow, they're great. I enjoyed both of them. We have a lot of questions for you guys today. So, Patrice, we're going to start with you.
Okay.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself as a filmmaker and what your movie is about.
Okay. I'm a beginner as a director of movies because before I was grip on the set. You know what I mean? Grip. It's about
Sure.
trucks and cranes. So I used to work in Canada and in France. And one day when I met some actors, I decided to become an actor. But before I was an armorer on set because I met also armorers on set, and I worked with Mr. De Niro,
Really?
with Johnny Depp,
Nice.
Dennis Hopper, and many U.S. stars, and I learned a lot with them. And 3 years ago, I decided to become a director because it was like a dream, you know. And I began with the last of the last, La Der de Der. And I got the idea when I worked in Germany because I met Hitler in flesh in my life.
Wow.
Do you want the story or not?
Yeah, well, yes, I do.
I met him in flesh because I went to Germany to improve myself about the weapons and the work on the set. And one day, um, I met before a very famous actor in Germany, and he called me, come on in Munich. I'm on the set. It's a amazing movie. I can't say anything on the phone, but just come. So I came on the set, and he showed me the bunker of Hitler because it was this movie, you know.
Uh-huh.
It's the 10 last day of Hitler in his bunker. So
Wow.
when I saw the location and the bunker, I was freaky, dizzy. I was very freaky. So I told to my friend, okay, it's too for me. It's I need fresh air. And outside, they built Berlin in 1945, completely destroyed. So
Right.
am I in an am I in the middle of nightmare or something? My God! And I decide to I need a coffee, you know. So I need to drink a coffee to I need chill out now. So I took my coffee, sugar, and one moment I felt a bad feeling about something on somebody, and I turned my head on the left side, and I met Hitler because I saw Bruno Ganz, the character of Hitler in the movie, but
Wow.
dressed like Hitler. And I thought, oh my God, uh, I'm gonna kill him. You know, something happened in my head. So, and tomorrow morning at breakfast, I got this. I imagined this story in the night, and I told this story to my friend and told me it's a good idea. So make a movie, and it with this idea, I became a director.
Wow. That's a really fascinating story. And I have to say, after watching the film, um, which is really as a Jew also, it's a little bit of a different perspective also in the film. It was very amusing for me.
Yeah,
And I have to say, there's some sort of you did something very interesting there because you kind of it's a very serious topic, obviously. It's a huge tragedy, and you approached it with like a little bit of comedy, which was refreshing to me. Can you talk a little bit about the brilliance at the end, right? The catch at the end, where we understand the whole loop of the story, a little bit about why you built the story that way.
um, okay, he could save 500 550 millions in the world, but he also could save his own family. So I would like to say, or the public and the audience, you are responsible with your acts and your words. That's it. So,
Wow.
you know what I mean?
That's very powerful. While watching the film, I was asking myself, you set up the film in a very interesting way. You started in the present and then you moved to the past, also visually, right? So we start in some sort of news firm in an office. And I was wondering to myself when I finished the film, why you chose to start there. Why not do a story about that starts in the war battle, that starts like in the battlefield, and the soldiers are meeting each other, and then end it, in future days. Why did you have to start with the reporter? Why did you choose as a director to make the film that way?
To avoid the cliche about the First World War, it's tranché, but there is a war in the springtime and the summer. So I decided to see the soldiers in the forest with chlorophyll, green, So, and about the journalist, when I used to prepare my movie, I met a journalist and I told him, I'm gonna shoot a movie about the last of the last with this kind of characters, And he told me, Patrice, the First World War is I'm fed up with this story, and the First World War it's over. So, okay, I'm gonna put your mind in my movie. You know what I mean? So I decided to change the beginning with a journalist, and he's a bad guy. He's a stupid guy, So, and I'm the actor who got the character. So, but it's a very stupid.
Gotcha. It's great. I happen to like it a lot, and it really left me thinking, like you said, like the dilemma of saving one man, saving what comes out of one man, the potential of a man in the future. So as a person, you have a potential of having a family, but sometimes people also use that potential for bad things. And your film was really inspiring, and also very entertaining. So we thank you very much. Stay with us because we still have a question for you for the closing, but I want to move on to our next creator for tonight. Is it pronounced Zoel or Joel? I don't know.
Zoel. Zoel is
Zoel.
correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Zoel, please tell us a little bit about yourself as a filmmaker and what your movie is about.
Yes. So I studied cinema now 8 years ago, maybe, or 7 years ago. So I am from Switzerland, from a mom. My mom is Vietnamese, my father is Swiss, and now I'm based in Paris. I moved to France maybe 5 years, 6 years ago, because simply the industry is more interesting in France than obviously in Switzerland. So I studied. I studied. My school was more an art school than a cinema school. So you study everything you want. It can be graphic design. It can be making a movie. So it was open-minded, but it was not specialized into film directing. So I was interested by studying a bit more what it is to write movies and to direct and acting, directing, and all this. I ended up with a diploma film school with a movie called Bonobo, which was a movie about a lift that is broken in a big building, in a big house, and how three characters were connected because of this broken lift. So it had some common points with my latest movie that will be screened at your film festival, FairPlay, that has also this kind of narrative format where you go from one situation to the other. FairPlay is a bit different because it's not a movie this time that is axed behind characters, but more behind the topic. And the topic was our relationship to competition, how human beings simply deals with competition. So all kind of competition. It can be competition on social media for the youngsters. It can be competition for people who has a certain age working in a company and among young people, or competition, simply a competition for your ego or whatever. So I wanted to keep this kind of format that I really like in short film format, where you go from one situation to the other, but having always a common topic between all those different characters or situation. So this is the movie that I'm really happy that will be shown, FairPlay, at your film festival.
Yes, so I watched FairPlay, and I have to say it's an excellent film. An excellent film. I have a couple questions
Thank
for
you.
you. First of all, you mentioned the format. FairPlay is one short story, but it really has three different stories in it. Where did you find the courage to take, such a short film and cut it up even smaller into three? Like, that's something that usually isn't done in cinema. Why would you do something like that?
Yeah, I think for many reasons. One reason is that I have often this feeling, because I watch a lot of, I love watching short film, and I love I love short film because for me it's like a laboratory. As a film director, I like to feel that people are trying to do format that belongs to short film, and which are not formats that you then export for feature movies. So I like, because there's really this kind of experimental, try to look for new format. And often I think I'm frustrated when I see short film. A lot of beautiful short film, but it's true that sometimes I'm like, okay, but I wish I could see this movie now on a feature movie, because it end up after 20 or 25 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes, So I didn't went until the end with the character. So my question was, but what if we can try another format with, and I'm a huge fan of Italian vintage Italian sketches movies,
Okay.
where they used to make like maybe 10 little sketches of 5 minutes to tell a bigger story, and always changing the casting. And I was like, but short film is not possible. How can you do this? And I like the fact that, okay, so there is a challenge here. So let's go into this challenge and find a way. And to be honest, the FairPlay, now you can see the edits. It jumps from one situation to the other. The goal was 3 individual sketches. So it was written,
Ah,
yeah, it was written with only the TikTok challenge, only with the game with the cars, and only with the musical chair. And we don't mix them. But I knew somehow that if ever we had to have a backup, if ever it doesn't work individually, we would have to find a way to mix them. And so this is what happened at the end. We
wow.
mix them. Yeah, we mix them because all the 3 sketches are written in a common, with climax, with intro, climax. So it helps you in the editing to kind of look for a logical order somehow.
Mm-hmm. Common
So
points. Common points.
yeah, exactly, common point. So the beginning has to stay with the beginning of the thirds or the second sketches. But with this kind of format, you always kind of rewrite during editing. So you write the first time, you write the second time on the shooting, because it's not possible to, somehow, I don't know, there are some scenes that you cannot, because of time or because of
Right.
whatever. So you write a second time, and a third time I wrote it. We wrote it with the film editor, because we did it individually. We were like, okay, nice, but let's add a bit more tension, and mixing all those sketches. Of course, it adds so much tension. So this is how we came up with this kind of
Awesome. Awesome. It's
format.
really great. I have to ask, you have three, short stories, and each one of them is about a certain competition or a game or a challenge. Are these challenges that you saw in reality? Did you make them up? And if you made them up, what was the inspiration?
I think it's a mix of everything you said. It's a mix between, because I like to always start from something realistic, something that I either read on the newspaper or that someone told me the story, or I even see it. The challenge, I think it exists. You can find on YouTube, actually. you can find some kind of challenge. Then after, I was spending a lot of time on TikTok, trying to look how it works, this application, and TikTok or Instagram. TikTok is a bit more, let's say, Instagram is more controlled. TikTok, it was a wild moment. Now, maybe in the next years, I think so they will control a bit more. But it was kind of wild. You could find some crazy challenges, where actually young people has to arm themselves to prove to the community that they can handle whatever. Then after, my goal was also to always be more radical from reality, but honestly, I can even find worse challenges wherever on the internet. The story with the game, people sticking their mouse to the car, is actually a real. You can find it on YouTube. Wow. Because I spend a lot of time on YouTube. As you can feel, I spend a lot of time on
we all
YouTube,
do. It's okay.
TikTok, internet, because internet. And it's actually a game. If you put Kiss the Mustang, it actually exists, where you can see people sticking their lips to Mustang. There are maybe 7, 4, 8, up to 10 around the Mustang, and they have the longest one wins the Mustang. So it's really, usually it's a game that you play with the hand. I don't know if you have seen this.
Right.
It's a game that comes from Texas, from the US, to win a pickup car, a pickup truck. And it's a game. It's like entertainment, but at the same time, it really says a lot about society, because a lot of people need a pickup truck in Texas, especially in the US, because without a car, socially, professionally, it's difficult.
Right.
So there were those kind of game where people could stay 1 week, 1 week with the hand, and they only have a break of maybe 15 minutes every 2 hours. So it came from this game with kissing a car. So it existed. And the musical chair, it's more because my sister used to work in a corporate company, and there were a lot of kind of games, team building, challenge trophy. She was working for a big smoking group, so it was a big industry. It was about who could sell more than the other or whatever. And every year they would have like a weekend, like a holiday weekend.
A retreat.
Yeah, retreat. But it was kind of meant to have this kind of, I don't know how to say, but it was more to boost the people up, somehow. So they were making games. The winner can win this. I mean, a bit kind of unhealthy games.
It was competitive. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Wow, that's awesome. That's really good. It's a lot of fun hearing the behind the scenes of this. Zoel, I have a final question for you before we sign off, and this question is going to go to you as well, Patrice. Afterwards, we asked all of the people who participate in our film to tell us about a future project, anything you're working on now that you can share a little bit about. We're interested in hearing, what you have for us in the future.
Okay, first I have to say my short movies, I'm moved about the success in the world, because we got 252 selections in 67 countries.
Oh, wow.
And I won 99 prize in the world. So
wow.
I'm waiting for the 100.
All right, good luck.
Israel, come on.
I'll put in a good word for you.
Some people, some productions in the world told me, Patrice, we loved your short movie. Why you don't want to do a feature movie? I say, yes, give me 20 millions of dollars or euros, and I can make the feature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but it's a good idea. I wrote the script.
Okay.
About the feature. So, and in 3 years, I made 9 short movies about learning to. I make movies as tomatoes, as potatoes, or I'm like a worker in the camp. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
And I'm busy with all this stuff for the festivals, but now I'm gonna shoot my first TV show about the bad cop in Paris. And
Good luck.
also, I'm an actor in a TV show named Hors Noir in French on the TV channel, the French TV channel M6 Play. Hors Noir is black gold, so you can find me on the net on Insta or on the TV channel M6 Play. So well.
All right, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Zoel, with you you're working on anything now? Anything in the future?
Yeah, now I try to. So I like to go from one project to the other, which are completely different this time. And this time, so I want to make the step between from short film to feature film. And so it's still like the beginning, but I'm trying to develop a kind of a psychedelic thriller that would that is inspired by a real story that happened in France, in Paris, in a zoo, where we found a baby rhinoceros dead with its horn chopped. Because on the black market, the value of rhinoceros horn are really are very high. It's like as much as gold or cocaine on the black market. And there's all kind of a very coming from mostly from the north of Vietnam to China. There's a real, they are looking for this kind of, they're making from this rhino horn like powder, because they have like strong spiritual belief from this powder that you can cure from cancer. You can have like sexual boost, whatever, you know. And wow. So it's really the beginning. I'm not sure it's gonna change, but I want to act maybe from this realistic story, and try to interpret it myself. You know, taking as a base the story of people trying to enter a zoo and getting this rhino horn, and making a thriller a bit like I'm very inspired by the Safdie brothers, so looking for this kind of intense format taking place in a weekend or 2 days or 3 days. So we'll see, you know.
Awesome.
Maybe it's gonna change probably.
Well, yes, of course. But it sounds really, really interesting. Zoel and Patrice, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it here in Gula Festival.